Everything seemed to be going great for Star Wars Battlefront 2's public image, with the promise of more of everything that we all love about Star Wars. The return of the Clone Wars era and the introduction of the sequel era is a no-brainer for EA. It guarantees double the content. And while the films aren't as well regarded as the originals, the prequel era holds the largest library of warfare currently in the Star Wars canon. And as far as I was concerned, the future was looking bright for Star Wars Battlefront 2. That was until Gamescom, where suddenly the entire Battlefront community began to implode through the fear that the game could be a shadow of its potential. 2015's entry into the series had a huge number of flaws, which gave people almost unlimited ammunition for picking apart the game. This is completely different to Battlefront 2. It appears to many people that a pillar of the franchise has just been obliterated, and that pillar is undoubtedly immersion. EA and DICE have constantly preached about the love for the universe and all of its moments, places and people, and building a game as close to the film universe has always seemed to be the goal. And the introduction of cross-era play has been considered an attack on immersion, ruining people's enjoyment of Star Wars by introducing people who literally couldn't exist at that time. I mean, there's always the response that they're in space with magical laser swords and telekinesis. So why shouldn't General Grievous be able to fight Rey inside Mos Eisley's cantina? But the fact is, lightsabers and the Force are established within the laws of the Star Wars universe. When you step into that universe, all of these things are considered real. But time travel isn't, so therefore this goes against what Star Wars is. Now that's one viewpoint, but why shouldn't they give players every possible option? Sure, it might not be as accurate to Star Wars, but EA's Battlefront was built around the idea that it is a sandbox, a place for people who love the films, books and everything canon to come along and play in ways which can never be explored within the canon. The multiplayer has always been considered outside of canon, and there's no point in skirting around the edge when you can have the option to go as far as possible within the universe. Now this doesn't mean I think EA should pull things from other brands, but anything within the Star Wars universe is fair game to me. Giving the players this option doesn't mean that this is the way things should be for everyone, as this would open an old wound for players of Battlefront when everyone was forced into a box, with Season Pass players occupying one portion of the game's traffic, while non-Season Pass players occupied an area walled off by a toll, never having the opportunity to cross paths, which ultimately split the fanbase. If cross-era play is included only in certain playlists, this doesn't create as large a divide, as people could jump between the playlists as they pleased, but this goes against human nature, as people will ultimately identify with a certain side. They're either for or against cross-era, and will harshly defend their own opinion. EA can either be seen as a wholesome provider of glorious content, or a fiend desperate to rake in as much money as possible, while dragging a beloved franchise to its death. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be much of a grey area, with people simply dealing in absolutes. The scrutiny which EA is under for its performance is monumental, and rightly so, but showing anger at EA's attempts to right its wrongs is not the way forward. EA is clearly clamouring to show that it wants everyone to get the most Star Wars that anyone has ever Star Warsed. And maybe they overstepped the mark this time, but surely it can only hurt the players in the long run if there's no willingness to accept change. Personally, I'd like to think that they have our best intentions at heart, and are giving us the entire toy box to go wild with, but at the same time, I'm worried that when this game is released, the EA will show its true cards and simply use this cross-era gameplay as a tactic to hide the total amount of content in the game. But no matter what decision they made, one side will be unhappy with the result, and ultimately EA need to provide a variety to the players. And if a fantasy draft Star Wars deathmatch is part of that, then I'm all for it. After all, it's better to have and not want than to want and not have. And I know this is quite a heated topic at the moment, and I'm hopeful that something can be clarified and people can begin to complain about something else, like the ridiculous customization options which will no doubt become available to distract everyone from this mess. And I think it all boiled over that because people were holding out hope that the presence of Rey on Naboo alongside clone troopers was simply just to show her character off more than to stick to realism. And now that cross-era gameplay has been confirmed, begun the clone galactic civil wars have. I'd love to hear your opinion on all things Star Wars Battlefront 2, no matter how wild, so just fire away down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video and will stick around for next time, and as always, may the Force be with you.